Welcome, Lynton Allan here, and this is Sketch and Tell. And a special welcome to the students of St Paul's at Warrigal who are doing remote education. I'm going to begin a small series of art and storytelling called Colours of Life. Colours, first of all, because I love colour. It's what I work with. It's what I look at when I look around in the world of nature. And there are some colours that I could almost reach out and want to just take and taste and see what they taste like. They look so delicious. But I'm also interested in where colours were originally sourced from, the pigments and the dyes that were used by artisans and artists. You couldn't go and buy them in a shop. You had to find them in nature, from rocks or sea creatures and other amazing places. These days they are made from a petrochemical base, mostly, or a synthetic base. But before that, the names of many of the colours has been kept. That gives you an indication of where they used to be sourced from. Lead white, Prussian blue, cobalt blue. You have saffron yellow, gamboge yellow, you have vermilion red. But they also, colours represent different aspects of our emotions and feelings and how we are experiencing life, hence the title, Colours of Life. We often use colour to talk about how we're feeling. I'm feeling down, I'm feeling blue. I'm feeling really calm and peaceful and tranquil like the blue in the sky. I'm feeling red, passion, because I'm angry. Or red, passion, because I'm in love, romance. Or maybe yellow. I'm feeling scared, I'm really a coward if I'm honest. Yellow if you're a cowardice. But also it can be happiness and joy. And again, colours are fascinating when we think about their associations with life and life's experiences. I'm going to be looking at the three primary colours, red, yellow and blue. And today I want to begin with blue, and that first one of, as I look at the sky, calmness and peace, tranquility. Now if I were to throw a challenge to you and say let's have an art exhibition or an art competition, and the theme or title is peace and calmness, I think our instinct would be to try and paint a beautiful landscape or beach scene that would have, yes, a nice light in it, and whether it was waves lapping up onto the beach quietly, whether it was looking out over hills or grasslands with cows in the distance, but it would have the absence of stressful things, the absence of war and conflict and tension and annoying people. But I'm going to paint a very different painting, and then I'm going to just reflect a little bit upon it. Here we go. add a little bit more highlight to this as I just share a few thoughts about this. Hopefully you can see a raging storm and a boat caught in the grips in the midst of it. Now when it comes to calm and peaceful places, it is always good to have somewhere where you can go when you need to de-stress. And I really encourage you, if you can't get out into nature and just go for a walk, there are other ways of doing that. You can do it through art, you can do it through listening to calming music, you can do it through breathing exercises, meditation. But also, there is a place deep within each one of us that you can go to no matter where you are. It's accessible all the time, no matter what's happening around us. And it's a source of incredible calm and peace, even if things are chaotic and stressful and noisy around us. Even if you're in the midst of a storm, you can tap into this place of peace. And it is what I call that God center. That connection, that healthy connection we can have with God, who is the source of peace, a deep peace that you can't find anywhere else, because it's not connected to things going well and right. It's coming from a different place. And I'd like to, I'll just add a little bit more colour here. I'd like to share with you the story of a man who found that incredible place even though he was in the midst of a horrible storm. There were a series of traumatic events that hit his life and took everything away from him that was precious and dear to him. And yet he was able to pen and write an amazing hymn, a song that has been the favourite of people for many, many years. This man's name was Horatio Spafford. And in the 1870s, he lived in Chicago, but he was hit with a series of horrible events. First of all, in 1871, his young son, 4 years old, died. It was taken away from him. And then shortly after that, there was the Great Chicago Fire that destroyed most of the city, and he was financially ruined because of that fire, because he had, his wealth was tied up in real estate and everything was taken away. And then he decided to send his family, his wife and 4 remaining daughters, over to Europe on a ship. And he was to go after a few weeks. He had to still deal with some business things to wind up with his, that was all about rezoning that was happening in Chicago, and settle his accounts. But during that trip with his wife and 4 daughters, halfway across there was a storm. Their boat hit another boat in the night and sank, and his 4 daughters drowned. His wife was rescued with another ship coming to help, and she sent back a telegram to him, 2 words, that's all it was: saved, alone. Shortly after, Horatio hopped on another boat to go across to be with his wife, and as that boat came to that place where his daughters drowned, the captain of his boat said this is probably where it happened. As he thought about it, and as he was grieving, he went into his cabin and he penned the words to that hymn that we call "It Is Well With My Soul." And I will just read out the first verse. When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. And even though he was experiencing grief and loss and chaotic conditions around him, he was able to genuinely find a piece of calmness. It's very similar to Well, I'm going to finish now with one of my favourite parts of the Bible, written by a man called Paul, who in one of the letters he wrote, and he wrote this from prison himself, not in a very calm place, but he wrote that this could be the experience of all of us. Even if we are going through incredible, difficult times, Paul said, "Do not fret or worry. Instead of worrying, pray. Let petitions and praises shape your worries into prayers, letting God know your concerns. And before you know it, a sense of God's wholeness and peace, everything coming together for good, will come and settle you down." It's wonderful what happens when Christ displaces worry at the centre of your life with calmness and peace. Have a colourful day. Thank you.